Beck Depression Inventory, BDI-2, is administered at the beginning of each session. In addition, a quick assessment of mood is obtained. Ask the veteran to rate average mood during the last week on a scale of 1, no depression, to 10, very depressed. These symptoms are discussed with the veteran.
Tom, thanks for filling out the questionnaire. I know it's a lot to think about, but this gives us a snapshot of how you've been feeling over the past week.
So I have to do that every time?
Well, yes, you'll be completing this form each week. And it would be helpful if you could come in 10 minutes early so that you could fill it out before we begin our sessions. Would you be able to do that?
I have a long way to drive. I would have to get here even earlier. It asks so many questions.
It does have quite a few questions, and I thought it would be helpful to talk with you about why we were asking you those questions.
Okay, I guess I hadn't given it much thought.
This form is called the Beck Depression Inventory, BDI for short. It's a summary of depression symptoms. We'll review it each time and look for changes that might be tied to events since the last session, and then use it to track your symptoms over time.
I checked off a lot on that sheet.
Well, let's talk about some of the symptoms you checked off, okay? Feeling sad much of the time. Feeling pretty pessimistic about the future. Getting less pleasure from things that you used to enjoy.
Definitely.
Feeling guilty about things, disappointed in yourself. More self-critical.
Oh, yeah.
Sleeping a lot more. Not having much energy, feeling fatigued. More irritable than you used to be.
Oh, yeah. Can ask my wife about that one. I'm quite sure she would agree.
Increased appetite and no interest in sex.
Well, neither is my wife.
I see. And though you're reporting a number of symptoms, you don't report having any thoughts of harming yourself. Is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. Does this all sound accurate?
Yeah, that's pretty much the picture of me right now. I tried to answer them as best I could.
Well, when we add up the symptoms here, you've got a score of 27.
What's that mean?
This is how you felt over the past week. We'll look for how this score changes over time. 27, it's consistent with moderate depression. No wonder you've been feeling so bad. Now, I'll ask you this next question each week. I want you to rate your average mood in the last week on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 is the most depressed you've been. 1 is being not depressed at all. So in the last week, on average, how depressed would you say you've been?
I don't know. It's been a pretty bad week. Lately, they've all been bad. I'd say maybe a 7 or something. Is that bad?
Well, I wouldn't say bad or good. But it does sound like you're feeling moderately depressed, just like we saw on the BDI.
Yeah, I have a lot going on.
We're going to keep track of your mood every week. Now, doing this will give us a sense of the depression symptoms you've had. We'll talk about those symptoms, put our heads together about what seems to trigger those symptoms, and then explore what you can do about that.
Okay, that sounds good.